Tanjiro boy with big scar on his head, running in a blizzard, carrying his sister Nezuko. She unconscious because of a very serious injury. The boy confused about what happened. He walked the hard way. He kept begging his sister to try. Just Tanjiro startled when he smelled the blood from a distance with his nose. He rushed home and panicked at the fresh blood, dyed red all over the simple house. Recently, the whole family was laughing and happy. Just one night, his mother and 4 brothers are just cold bodies, bloodless soul. Right then, Nezuko still holds her youngest brother Rakuta in her arms. They want to protect their loved ones with their lives. And she's the only one with a little warmth. Not in time to be sad, Tanjiro rushed down the mountain to find a cure. The heavy footsteps, panic, mental breakdown. The boy was almost desperate before the tragedy hit the family. Suddenly, Nezuko woke up. It's been rolling around and screaming like crazy. Tanjiro couldn't control his footsteps and fall down the cliff. Fortunately, the snow saved the poor boy's life. Looking for sister, Tanjiro saw that she was standing at the wrong distance. The soul of death, running to the next of kin. The boy was terrified in front of his beast-like eyes, a mouth full of fangs and a body full of spines. Nezuko has become a demon, and rush as if to devour their prey. The boy hurriedly grabbed the axe by his side. He stopped the fatal bite. With his superior sense of smell, Tanjiro feels the pain Nezuko and his family are suffering. Not only that, he smells a strange, mysterious smell, still fluttering. That person's own blood, mixed into Nezuko's wounds, make her turn into a demon. The boy's life was in danger. Nezuko is unbelievably strong. The same body is getting bigger and bigger. With a little hope left, Tanjiro urgently calms down his sister, screaming in tears to help her control the rising beast. To Tanjiro's surprise, Nezuko, she suddenly burst into tears. Suddenly, a swordsman wearing a 2-colored Haori shirt rushed over and threw the sword at Nezuko. Feel the danger. Tanjiro hurriedly pushed his sister away to avoid the finishing blow. To the surprise of the swordsman, in the hand of the sword engraved with the word "Destroy Demons," Q Tomioka's hydrophobic demon squad, snatching Nezuko from Tanjiro's protective embrace. Before the tragic end for the last loved one, Tanjiro tried to explain the request, begging a way of life for his sister. When all words are in vain, the boy only knows, get down on his knees, to hold on to hope and the only reason left. Not only is it not superfluous, Jiyu was still angry and said, blame the boy for his weak actions. In fact, Jiyu felt guilty for not coming earlier. He wished he had come early, just half a day. He could have saved that poor family from the devil's cruel claws. Not finish Nezuko, just like the other demons. Hydro Cylinder tries to extend the time. Use words to force Tanjiro to fight, determined to save his sister and find out who killed his entire family. Not only that, Q also wants to help Tanjiro release his anger. Stalemate and extreme, when faced with so many events. As enlightened, Tanjiro constantly throws stones at Q to distract him. He rushed in a desperate way to save his sister. Not a little difficult. The cylinder gave a very strong blow. Defeat the immature opponent. He thought he won the victory. Jiyu was surprised where the axe came from. It's almost stuck in the head. As it turns out, Tanjiro had a very well thought out battle plan. Even in a dire situation, he throws stones to distract, throwing an axe at Q while hiding behind a large tree. When he rushed to the hydro, the boy pretending, hold the axe and cover his back so he don't get caught. He know he can't beat his opponent. Tanjiro used the guise of suicide to win. Next to him, Jiyu, impressed by the situation of the two brothers, he spared Nezuko's life. He also instructed Tanjiro to keep his sister out of the sun, to the extraordinary things that Q had just witnessed. Hydro cylinder, he decided to put the hope in the brave boy. Guide him to meet Master Tsukanji Urokodaki, to improve the boy's ability to fight demons. After Q left, Tanjiro goes back home, self-buried for the whole family. Just recently, a small house warmed by love, laughter, but now it's just a sad place. Restrained tears. He walked away with his sister Nezuko. It's calmer now, but she's still dazed by everything around her. Looking back for the last time, Tanjiro takes Nezuko's hand and run fast on the cold white snow to find a little hope to save his sister. Because Nezuko can't get in the sun, the two brothers' journey slowed down. They can only move at night. To get to the destination quickly, Tanjiro just asked to buy a basket with some people's straw and bamboo. Even if the good farmer is willing to give, stubborn boy still insists on sending money. He ran quickly to the cave where Nezuko was hiding. Boy knit into a sturdy basket, and then cover the fabric up so there's no crevasses, to carry his sister during the day. Understand what brother means. She gets in, shrink back to fit the size of the basket. To the night, Nezuko got out of the basket and went with her brother. After a long day, the two brothers went to a temple on a mountain when it was dark. He thought there was a place to rest. Tanjiro was startled when he smelled blood. Fast forward to the temple. The boy saw a demon devouring the bodies of poor passers-by. While the boy was terrified, Nezuko became demented and drooled. It's out of control. There's a delicious meal in front of her. The lights went out. The devil came in a second to take the life of the man who ruined his meal. When Tanjiro heard that, he slashed the demon's face. Sister. Back to the temple. The boy was going to use a small knife to finish off the demon's head, which was still attached to the tree. But the good boy, and has never been covered in blood, trembling and faltering. Suddenly, a strange man in a crane mask appeared without a sound. He said the knife was not enough to solve the demon. But he didn't give instructions, he made the boy think for himself. After a thought, Tanjiro understood he had to smash the demon's head. Hold the stone in hand, he looked at the hideous creature that was planted in the tree, but the mysterious man still smelled the smell of his heart. He couldn't get down. Suddenly, the devil woke up. He demanded to kill the boy. It's time to hesitate. Tanjiro saw the first ray of sunlight and watched in horror as the demon burned to ashes. Worry about his sister, he rushed to find her and breathed a sigh of relief when Nezuko had escaped into a familiar basket. Remember the strange old man? He ran out looking and saw that he had buried the victims. After praying for the dead, the old man revealed that he was Sakanji Yorokodeki. After receiving a letter from the Tomioka Juyu water cylinder, he rushed to find the two brothers. No explanation, he suddenly asked the question. What would Tanjiro do if Nezuko ate humans? Bewildered by the grim question, the boy received a slap from the man. Because decision-making is too slow, he points to weakness and vain hope, about a happy ending of Tanjiro. Carrying an almost mythical desire, he must be ready to kill Nezuko himself if she eats human flesh and then disembowels himself. If he don't want to end up with the worst, he must stop his sister from killing at all costs. To be taught kung fu, Tanjiro must keep up. When Master Yorokodaki ran back home, this is also the training site. Confident about health, the boy also struggled to chase an old man, running very fast without any noise. Running out of breath, he remembered Nezuko. The little girl had once sacrificed herself, mending the old kimono over and over again, save money to buy food for the whole family. He felt pity for his poor little sister. Tanjiro launches with all his life, grabbing every bit of oxygen like a fragile hope. To the small house, the boy thought he had passed the test, but panicked when the old man asked to go up the mountain. Leave his sister sleeping in the house. Tanjiro waded up the mountain when it was already dusk. They both reached their destination when the moon was high. Right then, Master Yorokodaki just made a simple request. The boy had to go back to the house at the foot of the mountain before dawn, and disappeared into the fog. Given an unbelievably easy assignment, Tanjiro excitedly launched down with his nose, has imprinted the fragrance of Master Yorokodaki. Suddenly, he hit a trap. Then caught in. The battle has been arranged. Not only that, the atmosphere is thinner than normal. It makes your head spin, and the breath becomes heavy. He doesn't give up the chance to save his sister. Tanjiro calmed down, used superior sense of smell to detect the scent that's floating on the traps. After he imagined the terrain, he adjusted his breathing and kept running down the mountain, but the body is not strong enough and fast enough to avoid the overwhelming obstacles. Tanjiro's been bruised a lot. Back at the foot of the mountain at dawn, Tanjiro is covered in blood, collapsed at the door. To witness the boy's ability and determination, the old man accepted him as a disciple. After arriving at Yorokodaki's house, Nezuko kept sleeping, and Tanjiro, he also wrote down the lessons he learned. Guided by his master, he aimed to pass the final selection. To join the Demon Slayer squad, existed from time immemorial. They are led by a mysterious family. They never stopped fighting to destroy the evil demons, protect the human race. The origin of the devil is a mystery. They have extraordinary power, with the ability to regenerate rapidly. It is almost immortal. There's only the sun, or the Nichiren blades, can kill them. The government doesn't want people to panic. They hide information about demons, and they don't recognize the Demon Slayer squad as a legitimate organization. So, the kids want to join the Demon Slayer, have to go through the process of training, the guidance of insiders such as Master Yorokodaki. Only after passing the training and recognized by the instructor, new students are invited to participate in the selection process dedicated to Demon Slayers. Continue training down the mountain. Tanjiro's body became more sensitive and strong. Flexible body, advanced speed, and the ability to detect odors is enhanced. The boy going through different levels of training, like holding a sword while running, waving sword with hands until fall for safety. When he has mastered the basic exercises, Tanjiro starts For 6 months of hard work, the situation became even more gridlocked. When Nezuko slept for a year and a half and didn't wake up, Tanjiro becomes more and more afraid of his incompetence. Any attempt to save Nezuko was pointless. The only reason for existence is no longer there. Desperate, extreme, he banged his head repeatedly against the towering rock. Suddenly, a boy in a fox mask appeared out of nowhere. Take him by surprise. He's wearing a coat with patterns, just like Gyu's. Standing in front of the opponent, still confused. Strange boy, moving fast, and easily knocked down the boy. Face to the enemy, he realized. Tanjiro is just remembering, and apply knowledge mechanically, but not really transformed into individual skills. Especially the technique of absolute breath concentration. Excited by the swordsman's words, Tanjiro rushed, too full of anger. Without any hesitation, the skillful swordsman dodged the blow, and threw a sword in his chin, and knocked him out. He then leaves Tanjiro in the care of a strange little girl. Wake up when it's dark, Tanjiro surprise. He saw the girl in the mask sitting next to him. But what impressed him most was his powerful blow. Along with the perfect move of the opponent, mysterious little girl reveals her name is Makomo, and that guy is Sabito. But there's no mention of origin, or why you're both helping Tanjiro. Through time, Tanjiro knows that they are both orphans, adopted by Master Urokodaki. Sometimes she even mentions other people. They are also watching, but Tanjiro didn't see anyone else. Little by little, Makomo points to excess movement, with the boy's bad fighting habits. With deep understanding, Makomo instructions for Tanjiro about the meaning of the technique of absolute breath concentration. Breathing properly helps promote blood circulation and heartbeat. When the blood is flowing, bones and body will heat up. It makes the body stronger, unleash all the potential power. Once in peak condition, swordsmen can slash demons, even though it's vague. Tanjiro still has a lot of training to expand lung capacity and mastered supernatural techniques. Almost half a year of forging, Tanjiro is constantly defeated, but it's also becoming stronger and more confident. On a snowy night, Sabito appeared with his katana sword, replacement for wooden swords still used for training, to enter the battle of life and death. Tanjiro calmly inhaled a breath, filling his lungs, then hurtled quickly towards the opponent. It's also coming, swiping the sword down at Sabito's mask. Tanjiro won the match, but he was more surprised than anything to see a smile of contentment and emotion. On the gentle face, there is a large scar on Sabito's cheek. Suddenly, Makomo congratulated Tanjiro and sent a wish to defeat someone, and disappeared into the fog. Look back to Sabito. The boy was even more surprised when there was no one left. It's just the giant rock that's been cut in half. Recall the ecstatic blow. Tanjiro unlocks more unique abilities. With a keen sense of smell, the boy smelled the exposed thread, reveal the enemy's weaknesses. When the thread is stretched, he just needs a swing sword in the right direction. At that time, Master Urokodaki suddenly appeared, and marveling at the extraordinary performance of his students. Inherently, he trained many children to become demon slayer, but most of them died in the selection process. So the teacher gave Tanjiro a nearly impossible challenge to stop him. Go to death. The boy exceeded all expectations. That made Master Urokodaki praise, and put all his trust in the talented boy. Hearing that, Tanjiro broke into tears, feeling both relieved and happy. Through the master's words, Tanjiro knows demons can evolve according to the number of humans they have consumed. Most of the low-level demons has a human-like appearance and driven by the hunger that boils. But some high-ranking demons have devoured countless humans, granting them overwhelming strength and sinister abilities. It's called blood demon art. To wish the peace, Master Urokodaki give him a mask of foxes as a talisman in the trial of life and death. The next morning, Tanjiro wears the kimono characteristic of a swordsman who used the breath of water and say goodbye to his master. He asked the master to say goodbye to Sabito and Makomo. It surprised Master Urokodaki. because those are the children who died in the selection process. Go to the venue. Tanjiro was surprised by the scene filled with dead flowers, brilliant purple. Even if it's not the bloom season. Walk up to the main courtyard. He saw more than 20 children his own age. Without any emotion, 2 mysterious little girls, one with white hair and the other with black. They both have the same voice, and the task of guiding the players. On the dark mountain, the Demon Slayer Corps imprisoned many captured demons. They feared the wisteria fence stretching from the slope to the foot of the mountain, so can't run away. The tasks the contestants need to overcome is survive in the mountains. 7 days and nights on the top half of the mountain, not long into the forest. Tanjiro suddenly caught the stench of a long-tongued, thorn-covered demon rushing down from above. Not enough to calm down. Another demon with a mouthful of fangs. Down to grab their prey. Focus in a split second. Tanjiro focused his breath and unleashed the 4th form, striking tide. With the master's sword, in a definitive way. The demon fell head and gradually dissolved into dust. Put hands together, he prayed to the gods. May the 2 demons be reborn as humans. Not enough time to rest. A horrible smell crashed right into the boy's nose. Watch as a contestant flees. Tanjiro terrified by the demon's giant body covered in hands. The demon casually devoured a contestant with a broken neck, using its huge black mouth. It makes the demon body bigger. Suddenly, the arms clump together and reach out to grab the fleeing prey. Summon all the courage. Tanjiro unleashed the 2nd form, Water Wheel, to save the young man. Strangely, the devil's hand realized Tanjiro's protective mask. About 55 years ago, former water Hashira Sukanji, Urukadaki captured him when he was still a luring demon. All the time in captivity. The devil's hand has devoured 50 contestants participating in the selection. He mutated into a high-ranked demon with the power to control countless hands. Among the victims, he killed 13 of Master Urukadaki's disciples, to retaliate against the enmity of old. The deaths of Sabito and Makamo were made fun of. Tanjiro can no longer remain calm. He rushed in indignation. Take the time, the devil threw a 1,000-pound punch in the side. It made Tanjiro faint immediately, in a magical way. Tanjiro is awakened by his brother's spirit, just before being captured by the demon. Calm down again. He decided to destroy the evil demon. With a supersonic nose, Tanjiro predicts a sudden attack from the ground. So jump up high, just as the devil reached out his long arms. The boy took the opportunity to approach the enemy. The demon boasted of its hard neck that had made many swordsmen give up, so don't flinch before the fatal blow. But he didn't know that. Tanjiro slashed the biggest rocks, the toughest teacher Urukadaki ever asked for. The skilled swordsman unleashed the 1st form, Water Surface Slash, following the thread of opening to finish the opponent. In the moment after the end, the devil remembers the fear of the dark nights. When it's still a human, the boy always asks his brother to hold his hand. But he remembers nothing after becoming a demon and eating his brother. Though, the demon's subconscious still remembers the deep desire, so there's a multitude of arms around the body. Before it dissolves, he remembered the old memory, so he parted, looking for some warmth. Without any hesitation, Tanjiro holds a hand that smells of sadness. Then pray for the demon to be reincarnated as a human. To receive love, the devil's hand shed tears. When the soul returns to a young boy. When being led by his brother's hand to the other world. Right then, Tanjiro sees the souls of his classmates, still lingering after being killed by the demon. Now the hatred has been dissipated. The soul of everyone back to the mountain with Master Urukadaki. After many days of fighting, Tanjiro gradually exhausted body covered in blood and mud. But he could still easily defeat the low-ranking demons. Before the final blow, Tanjiro always asks how to turn Nezuko back into a human. But the devil doesn't know anything. They only care about the prey in front of them. The boy constantly moving without rest. And defeat a series of demons. as loved ones to protect, and the devil is the enemy to destroy. 15 days later, a tall man wearing a Hadoko mask, wearing a hat full of wind chimes to deliver the sword to Tanjiro, don't mind being around. He kept rambling on about the Nichiren blade forged from steel and ores, taken from the mountain closest to the sun, so the blade can absorb sunlight and change the color according to the owner. Seeing Tanjiro's red hair and eyes, the Haganezuka geneticist expects the blade to turn red as well. But the sword slowly turned black. Turned black to everyone's astonishment. Black swords are rare, and according to legend, it belonging only to a few swordsmen in the Demon Slayer Corps. While Tanjiro was still confused, Haganezuka left nasty extreme. When the blade didn't turn the bright red as desired, he should attack the boy. Suddenly the crow flew in and urged Tanjiro to come to the northwestern town to investigate the mysterious disappearances of young girls. It happens continuously at night. Putting on the Demon Slayer Corps uniform, with his Haori shirt, Tanjiro, ready to conquer the first mission. On a journey to destroy demons, before leaving, he was given a durable box by the master, but extremely light, especially without a gap, to carry Nezuko with him. Even though she was initially hesitant, Nezuko also obeyed his brother, small enough to fit into the box. Soon enough, Tanjiro arrived at the bustling northwest town. The townspeople whispered about mysterious disappearances in the streets. The young man Kazumi walked dazedly, staggering, after her friend Satoko disappears in the middle of the night. When they go for a walk, capture the clues, Tanjiro ran to the witness. No one knows anything about the existence of demons. People can't figure out the reason for the disappearances. When Kazumi broke the news in a panic, the poor girl's family couldn't believe it and beat the guy badly. But Tanjiro could vividly imagine the demon's traces. By sensing the lingering distinctive scent, before the boy's surprise, Demon Slayer Corps members use their noses to track the culprit. Until it's dark, Tanjiro still does not rest, and rushed to the scene of a kidnapping as soon as the stench rose. In a house, the girl just walked into the bedroom. Then a large shadow appeared around the mattress. From below the black hole, two large arms with spines and sharp claws rise up and drag their prey into the bottomless swamp. Run to a small alley. Tanjiro didn't see the enemy, but he could smell the scent. Tiniest spot. Immediately the ground turned into a swamp, and out the black water. As soon as the victim emerges, Tanjiro snatched it from the devil's hand. Make it angry embodied. The devil has red eyes. Surface. Do not attack people indiscriminately. The demons only target 16-year-old girls. When the flesh reaches its best freshness, Even the ringleader kept countless of the victims' haircuts. After putting Nezuko back in the box, Tanjiro comes to encourage the broken boy but is scolded by him. The young man thought a mere boy could know nothing of pain. Without any resistance, Tanjiro gently removed the hand that was grabbing his collar, and then a sad smile, bitterness and sympathy. Feel the callous hand and the gentle look. The boy knew he was wrong. When he realized this boy had hurt more than anything, he neither complained nor wept, only struggled in silence. Turn pain into motivation to destroy the enemy. After giving back the lover's mementos to the man, Tanjiro turned to walk away in disgust. It's about the crimes that Muzan has committed. Not enough time to rest. The crow has announced its next mission. He have to go to Tokyo to find a demon. He is a true country boy. Tanjiro was left stunned and confused. When he see the crowded city, the bustling crowd, electric light flashing, he dragged his sister out of the city center. Then they sitting in a ramen shop. Just took a sip of hot Back to the noodle shop. Tanjiro picks up his sister. Yushiro leads them to the hidden house where Tamayo awaits. Follow the young devil. They both go through a wall. And suddenly in front of a huge mansion hidden by a spell. Meet the strange woman again. He realizes that she is a doctor and caring for the couple recently afflicted by Muzan. In fact, Tamayo is one of the oldest demons created by Muzan centuries ago. From a loyal servant, she fled after a horrific event. Through years of research and training, she escaped the control of Muzan in her mind. She has a kind and gentle personality, and she cares deeply for everyone. She can even make humans demons using her blood. But Tamayo, she understands the pain of a lonely, miserable demon's life. So she only does it when the person agrees. And Yushiro is the only demon she's created 200 years ago. To survive, they bought blood as medicine and consumed it sparingly. Surprised by the vast span of time, Tanjiro blurts out a question about Tamaya's age. So, he was hit hard by Yushiro. With a hidden yet blatant longing, Yushiro loves his benefactor in silence. And won't let anyone insult or harm her. Don't care about the pain. Tanjiro smells the fragrance of sincerity from Miss Tamayo. So he places his full trust in her. And asked about how to turn demons back into humans. Like a drowning man grasping at a straw, the gifted doctor ignites the boy's hope to save his sister. To find the cure, Tanjiro must agree to let Tamayo study Nezuko's blood. Because she's actually a rare case, infused with a large amount of Muzan's blood. Nezuko still remains calm, resisting the hunger, though she hasn't consumed human flesh or blood for 2 years. Beside that, the demon slayer must collect blood from 10 demons infused with Muzan's blood. Most of them are in the 12 Kizuki, with power nearly equal to Muzan. Without any hesitation, Tanjiro is willing to take risks to take a bright future for his sister. And many others. To Tamari Ball's sudden claiming he was just joking. Suddenly, Nezuko is thrown toward Tanjiro. Nezuko with throws from 6 arms. Suddenly, Miss Tamayo involved in the battle. Knowing Muzan's true nature, she lashed out at the demon's blind worship. They still think the demon lord is the ultimate almighty being, so they can't accept the fact that Muzan is just a coward. He always count every plot first, to destroy anything that threatens him. And the demons are just pawns. Used once, then discarded. Unable to control thoughts or words. Susumaru accidentally uttered the forbidden name Kibutsuji Muzan. In fact, Tamayo had quietly invoked her blood demon art, perfume of bewitching blood, white narcissus, causing the opponent's brain functions to deteriorate. so they can't lie or keep secrets. The instant the secret name is spoken, the Tamari demon trembled in fear. He looked up at the sky and prayed for God's forgiveness. Her skin turned ashen, and her eyes glowed blood red. The arms that embraced the body revealed the pain. All at once, 3 giant clawed arms erupted from Susumaru's body. To the horror of all, the arms swiftly crushed her head, then mercilessly tore her to pieces. Those arms are the cells of Musan in every demon. The curse will strike anyone who violates the forbidden law. And only Tamayo managed to escape. While shaken by the deadly curse, Tanjiro was taken aback as Yushiro dashed in and slammed a cloth onto his face, because Tamaya's blood demon art was still in effect. So he doesn't want the boy affected. Not all surprises. The boy also knew the 2 demons had been defeated. They weren't part of the 12 Kazuki, because they had no numbers engraved in their eyes. Unlike the demons who served Muzan directly, their power was nothing compared to that of the top 12 demons. After taking the Tamari demon's blood, Tamayo and Yushiro led Nezuko underground to treat her, because she was exposed to the perfume of bewitching blood. Struggling to rise, as his body regained a bit of strength, Tanjiro heard the cry from Susumaru's broken body. Even as she was dying, she craved nothing more than to keep playing. With sincerity and kindness, Tanjiro approached the demon, holding the final ball, as it waited to vanish. Witnessing Musan ruthlessly abandon the demon that adored him, Tanjiro's anger deepened, and resolved to destroy Musan no matter what. Back to the ruined house, Tanjiro was thrilled to find Nezuko fully restored. She ran to hug her brother. Immediately she scampered to hold on to Tamayo, refusing to let go, and kept patting Yushiro's head. Despite being under Master Yurikodaki's hypnosis, Nezuko still retained her own consciousness, and saw the 2 as her family. Hearing those warm, ordinary words, Tamayo burst into tears. After being deceived and turned into a demon, she took the lives of her husband and son with her own hands, lucky to be freed from Muzan's control. She spent hundreds of years burdened by guilt, lonely and tormented. She didn't want anyone to suffer the same pain. She always asked very carefully. She urged the ill to weigh the price of immortality. And so, she felt genuine happiness and gratitude. When a child as pure and sincere as Nezuko had truly recognized her as family and loved one. The secret house has been discovered and is too close to Muzan, so Tamayo and Yushiro had to find a new place to hide. And Tamayo also suggested taking Nezuko with them, so the girl wouldn't have to face danger alongside her brother. While Tanjiro was still in confusion, Nezuko held on to his brother's hand. It's like wanting to be with him, as if voicing her wish to journey alongside her brother. Remembering the pain of losing a loved one, Tanjiro decided the 2 would journey together through every road ahead. Leave the house. Tanjiro receives a new mission. He must go in the southeast direction. On the village road, the boy flinched at the piercing scream. A blonde-haired boy wearing a Demon Slayer Corps uniform, with a Haori in shades of orange and yellow. Crying and shouting, he clung tightly to the girl. In a panic, he repeatedly begged for a wedding, because he didn't know when he would die. Confused about what's going on, Tanjiro was called for help by a sparrow. The bird kept screaming. This left the Demon Slayer astonished by the strange tale. Understand the situation, Tanjiro rushed to grab the annoying boy. To resolve this awkward situation, saw the uniform. The blonde boy realized he had met Tanjiro before. In the final selection, ignoring him, Tanjiro approached to comfort the girl. However, the blonde-haired boy wouldn't back down. He even shouted, trying to hold on to the girl. Too exhausted from being disturbed, the girl slapped the harasser repeatedly. At first, because the swordsman was dazed by the roadside, so the good girl came to visit. For some unknown reason, he thought she was fond of him, so he aimed to cut the process short, so he wouldn't have to die alone. After she angrily walked away, he turned to blame Tanjiro again, scolding him for ruining his dreamy romance. Don't know what to say. Tanjiro looked at him with bored eyes, full of contempt. This guy's name is Zenitsu Agatsuma. a master-level case of overthinking. Cowardly and gullible. He has keen ears, able to detect even the faintest sounds. Besides that, Zenitsu also has a very loud voice, capable of shattering the eardrums of others. He also tends to shout loudly, to express his emotions in an exaggerated and odd way. Originally, Zenitsu was an orphan child. He was cheated by a woman, but an old man helped him get his money back. Uncertain whether lucky or unlucky, that old man was formerly a pillar. The master decided to teach the boy swordsmanship and the way of using thunder breathing. Since then, Zenitsu has to constantly train every day, enduring pain as if in hell. He was even struck by lightning, turning his hair from black to the blonde it is now. Deeply insecure about his own abilities, Zenitsu didn't want to participate in the Demon Slayer course selection. However, his master left him with a red-bottomed spanking, forcing him to attend the exam. Though he still obeyed to please his master, he thought he would die and end his days of torment. But he miraculously survived, extending his days of misery. He was sure he will be eaten alive by demons. Zenitsu decided not to do the mission. Instead, he clung to every girl he met, hoping to marry, until he met Tanjiro. After screaming and whining furiously, he calmed down and started to get hungry. Tanjiro immediately gave the only rice ball to his new friend. It also surprised Zenitsu. Crying boy shared half for his teammates. Then the two continued heading southeast. Arriving at the mission site, they sought out the strange mansion in the forest. Tanjiro smells a strange smell, while Zenitsu heard mysterious sounds. All of a sudden, they spotted two terrified children, standing in the nearby bushes. After being appeased by Tanjiro, two kids just told me their brother was taken away by the devil. Suddenly, drums began to beat repeatedly. Then a man, thrown out of an upper floor door, he crashed to the ground. His whole body was covered in blood and his bones were broken. Saddened by the innocent lives lost, Tanjiro decides to storm the haunted mansion. To destroy the devil? Rescue the people. But Zenitsu was too afraid. So, he refused to go inside. Angry at his cowardly friend, Tanjiro decides to go in alone, making Zenitsu embarrassed and pleading to come along. Before breaking into the house, Tanjiro sends back Nezuko's box to protect two children. Enter through the front door. Tanjiro takes precautions against the mysterious silence. Zenitsu walked along, crying, demanding Tanjiro protect him. Tired of all the gossip, Tanjiro then spoke of his injuries still healing after the battle at Tamayo's house. Hear that, Zenitsu became even more panicked and screamed furiously, to think about the moment he imagined being devoured by demons. Not enough time to reassure his teammate. Tanjiro was surprised to see two children run in, waiting by the mysterious box. They're both scared to hear the noise inside, so they ran straight inside to find Tanjiro. But the swordsman was worried. Something's wrong with Nezuko. Suddenly, the house shook violently, terrifying all four at once. Zenitsu crouched over her head, causing Tanjiro and Teruko to be pushed into a room. Suddenly, the relentless sound of Suzume drums echoed, causing the room and its contents to shift constantly. The drum stops, and the two were transported to a completely different room. Suddenly, the huge demon's eyes turned blood red, along with the drums attached to its body, appearing in the hallway. Through the smell, the swordsman knows this demon has devoured many people. he smelled the blood differently. So he led little Teruko outside to investigate. At the same time, Zenitsu is also groping in the building with little Shuichi. Even though he's a demon hunter, the swordsman was so terrified his heart seemed ready to leap out, just because Shuichi started talking. Rather than calming the civilians, timid Zenitsu found himself being reassured by them. Thus, he kept yelling loudly without need, causing the long-tongued demon to emerge from the porch. Without hesitation, Zenitsu hugged Shuichi and ran away. The devil is still chasing them, and continuously striking with forceful blows with a long tongue. After running into a room, Zenitsu collapsed, his body frozen with fear. Though advised to run, Shuichi insisted on aiding the swordsman against the brutal demon. Touched by the boy's kindness, Zenitsu frantically tried to think of a way to save them both. Before he could think, the long-tongued demon approached and threatened them, made the swordsman rolled over, passing out from exhaustion. Ignoring Zenitsu, the demon launched its long tongue at Shuichi. Abruptly, the horrifying tongue was severed. Oddly enough, Zenitsu got up, radiating boldness. While his eyes are closed, without any hesitation, he focused the breath. He then used the first form of thunder breathing, thunderclap and flash. The lightning flashed. Zenitsu rushed like a lightning bolt, cutting off the demon's head. Shaking off the stupor, he screamed upon seeing the demon's severed head. He remembers nothing of that flash of brilliance. Instead, he went berserk, screaming as the demon's body turned to ashes. He thought Shuichi had defeated the enemy. Can't understand. Shuichi just let it be and encouraged the Thunder Swordsman. Continue to find a way out of the haunted mansion. After being separated because the room changed. Wild boar swordsman running all over the building to find the drum devil. He suddenly encountered a chubby demon, rejoicing after devouring humans. Like gold stockings, the swordsman unleashed the third form of beast breathing. Third fang, devouring maw, to cut off the enemy's head easily. Then he dashed off, full of vigor, like a wild beast hunting its prey, paying no attention to the demon slayers. The drum demon was still determined to find the child with rare blood. Inherently, he once held the lower rank 6th position among the 12 Kazuki. But, the devil can't absorb as much human flesh as before. So the power has stopped growing. Muzan doesn't tolerate weaklings as close subordinates. The Demon King stripped the drum demon of his rank. Since then, he has strived to grow stronger, hoping to join the upper ranks. Then the devil will receive more of Muzan's blood to unleash unimaginable powers. The target of the drum demon is Kiyoshi, the eldest brother of Shuichi and Teruko. He has an unusual blood type. It's as powerful as eating 100 people. It's precisely this allure that made the 3 demons want to claim it for themselves. After capturing him and bringing him to the mansion, while they are all fighting, the drum on the devil's back fell out. The boy Kiyoshi swiftly seized it, and constantly tapping to switch the room. The bizarre room changes Tanjiro faced were due to Kiyoshi hitting the drum at signs of danger. The smell of blood is different. Tanjiro finds Kiyoshi sitting alone in the room. Just as the boy was about to knock, Teruko spoke up. Help her brother stop in time. Slowly come to reassure. Tanjiro is healing and asking to know the situation. Hearing heavy footsteps in the hallway outside, the swordsman instructed the 2 children to beat the drum, to transfer it to another room. He thought he had it figured out. Tanjiro was stunned by the drum beats that kept the room spinning. Not only that, heavy wounds after the battle at Tomeo Mansion made the sword then strikes a deadly blow at the demon. While the swordsman catches his breath, the drum demon Tanjiro uses the special wisteria needle to extract blood from the demon's body. Suddenly, a cat's cry rings out from the void. Tanjiro suddenly spotted a calico cat. The cat with Yushiro's talisman stands beside him. After Tanjiro puts the blood tube into the small bag on his back, the cat turned away and slowly disappeared into the air. He is also in a hurry to find Kiyoshi and Teruko. The two siblings are still waiting in the mansion. After finding two children, Tanjiro calmed them down and took them out. As he nears the front door, he suddenly smells blood. Tanjiro ran out, and he painfully sees Zenitsu covered in blood, holding Nezuko's box tight, while the boar-headed swordsman keeps stomping on him. Then Zenitsu and Yoichi are thrown out as the drum demon uses its blood demon art. Wake up after the shock. Zenitsu is terrified of the boar-masked swordsman. Just came out of the building. Remember the sound with super sensitive hearing. He realizes it's the 5th surviving demon slayer. In the final selection of the demon slayer, he was the fastest to reach the mountain peak, and also the first to descend the mountain. Don't care what's around. The swordsman can feel the demons and rushed straight to the Nezuko box to kill the target. Despite his cowardly nature, Zenitsu still rushes forward to stop him, and decided not to back down from the dead and won't retreat before the murderous intent. Zenitsu can hear the tiniest of sounds, like breath, blood, or heartbeat, so he can understand people's minds, but still kind enough to believe the lies. From the moment they first met, Zenitsu knows Tanjiro has a demon in the box on his back when he hear unusual sounds. But he also heard Tanjiro's gentle and kind soul. It could make anyone cry. So he believed that Tanjiro must have a hard reason to say. That's why he accompanies the enemy of the Demon Slayer course. Because his teammate said this box holds something more precious than life. So Zenitsu will protect it no matter what, until he can ask his friend directly about the devil inside. Don't listen to the explanation. The boar-headed swordsman keeps attacking while Genesis clings to the box and not necessarily fight back. He even dares Zenitsu to draw his sword and fight, even though it breaks the Demon Slayer Corps' rule against attacking each other. Seeing that the opponent is determined to stop him, the boar-headed swordsman loses patience and aims to stab through both the obstacle and the box. Seeing his teammate beaten and drenched in blood, Tanjiro attacked the swordsman in anger. Fighting with all his strength, he throws a serious punch, knocking the odd boar-headed man away, and broke a rib. Even after being warned not to engage in internal fighting, the Demon Slayer still won't listen, and then move on to hand-to-hand combat. He has an extraordinarily flexible body, with joints more flexible than a normal person, to create different ways of moving, feeling as if he's fighting a four-legged beast. Tanjiro lowers the blow, but the opponent dodged and countered unexpectedly. Proud of the hit, the boar swordsman continues to show off his skills by bending his body with super flexibility without caring for himself. Tanjiro still advises him to be careful, so as not to worsen his wound. Still, the boar swordsman barrels in. Frustrated by the stubborn opponent, Tanjiro uses his special move. He headbutts the strange swordsman. Even from afar, Zenitsu is terrified by the loud crash. Stumbling after the power move, the boar mask slips off, revealing the handsome face beneath. This makes people feel even weirder. When a stunningly handsome face comes with a muscular body and a reckless love for fighting. He doesn't matter the pain or the blood. The swordsman stubbornly provokes, continuing the fight. Tanjiro refused immediately and asked his name. The boar swordsman introduced his name as Inosuke Hashira, but he can't read or write. Head aching, Inosuke faces a brain-twisting question, foams at the mouth, and faints. After resting for a long while, Inosuke jolts awake. He doesn't bother to thank or even look around. He's chasing Zenitsu again. He wants to fight immediately. Suddenly, the strange swordsman spots Tanjiro and the three siblings, burying the unfortunate victims. He grew up in the depths of the forest, so Inosuke thinks this is meaningless. But Tanjiro misunderstands, thinking he's hurt, so he can't help. Zenitsu and the three kids quietly cringed at the strange thoughts of those two oddballs. Still, Inosuke gets riled up whenever anyone assumes he's weak. So he eagerly jumps in to help, take the bodies out, and bury them carefully. The team completed the burial for the victims. Just as the sun sets, everybody's praying. Meanwhile, Inosuke relentlessly rams his head against the tree. Suddenly, a messenger crow caws, urging everyone to descend the mountain before nightfall. Before saying goodbye, the crow gives Kiyoshi a charm made of wisteria flowers, to avoid being targeted by the devil because of the rare blood. After saying goodbye, Tanjiro and Zenitsu followed the direction of the crow. Inosuke refuses to let go, insisting on continuing the battle. All three come to a house. There's a wisteria crest right at the door. These are the families saved by the Demon Slayer Corps. So they wholeheartedly host the Demon Slayers. The crow said that all three could rest here, until recovery. Suddenly, an old woman steps out and invites the group inside. She quickly prepared clean clothes, hot rice with warm blanket for demon hunters. Sitting at the dining table, Inosuke shows wild behavior, grabbing with his hands and devouring messily. He no longer remembers the box containing the demon, he just wants to fight. Even when deliberately saving food to annoy Tanjiro, Inosuke became even more angry when his opponent was not angry. Surprisingly, he even generously offers the tastiest portions to him. Originally, Inosuke had neither parents nor siblings, and was brought up by wild boars in the forest. He never intended to become a demon slayer, but he accidentally encounters a Demon Slayer Corps member lost on the mountain where he lives. After snatching his Nichiren blade, Inosuke then learns of the existence of demons, the final selection, and decided to join, so he could freely take on battles against other creatures. Suddenly, Zenitsu asks why Tanjiro brought the devil with him. Actually, Tanjiro also smelled Zenitsu's thoughts and feelings from before. Thanks to that, he deeply appreciates Zenitsu, who treats him kindly and sees him as a friend, even after learning the truth. Hearing the sincere praise, Zenitsu is overjoyed, but he doesn't recognize himself as strong as Tanjiro does. Suddenly, the box made a noise from inside. It made Zenitsu scream. Nezuko slowly emerges from the box and grows in size. Her innocent and adorable appearance. Zenitsu grows so envious he starts bleeding from the nose, mistakenly believing she is Tanjiro's beloved. He didn't want to listen to any explanation and was determined to get back at Tanjiro, because of all the hardships he has endured. He doesn't care that there's a demon in the room. Inosuke thought about how to provoke Tanjiro to fight again. Then he rolls over and falls asleep from overthinking. Having gone through countless struggles, Tanjiro was able to rest his back comfortably. Now he no longer has to wander through life all alone. He now has powerful comrades fighting by his side. But the journey to destroy the Demon Lord is also becoming more difficult, when the Supreme Servants begin to reveal themselves. In the near future, all three swordsmen have to face a real member of the 12 Kizuki. How could these fresh recruits stand against an enemy who has slaughtered hundreds of demon slayers? What will the three young men have to sacrifice to claim victory? Let's wait for the next video of the Demon Slayer, coming soon on this channel.